It's an honour for me, Warren Barton from Fox Sports, to be involved in such a great event in the beautiful city of Miami. Had a great occasion last season here. 67,000 people turned up to see the final with Real Madrid beating Chelsea, and I think everybody will remember that free kick from Ronaldo. It's a great opportunity for the players, and Fox Sports are delighted to be involved in a great occasion that will take this summer going forward. In Miami, it's the place to be at the moment, obviously, and with so many interesting events and projects that are happening in this city. You need a stadium, and obviously with the stadium we have here, we have the Vice Chairman, Mr. Higgins, that would like to say a few words. A great venue, a great stadium, and it's a great city.
Thank you everyone for coming this morning. Just looking at the turnout, I think there's no question that Miami has become the capital for international soccer in the United States. So on behalf of everybody who has worked really hard to make this vision a reality, not only with our tournament, but over the years who have believed in soccer in South Florida, I just want to say thank you and thank you for coming. First of all, none of this would be possible today without the vision of Steve Ross, who, aside from his passion for the Miami Dolphins, is very, very passionate about the South Florida community. And he had a vision. His vision was, if we could bring as many events here as possible, we could drive economic growth, we could drive job creation, we could drive tourism to Miami, and we could drive passion for sport. And so about 18 months, maybe 2 years ago now, Steve looked out in the landscape and said there's a tremendous opportunity in soccer. And that opportunity is all the teams like to come to the United States to expose their brand to a growing market and also to get ready for the preseason. Why don't we go ahead and we take those collection of entertaining friendlies and try to create a real competition. And today is the culmination of that vision. We'll spend a little more time on that. I want to thank a few people who are here. Obviously, first and foremost is Steve Ross. In addition, we have dignitaries that are here. Miami Gardens Mayor Oliver Gilbert. Mayor, where are you? Mayor. Mayor has been a wonderful supporter of everything we do here at Sun Life and of driving job creation and making sure that he supports our events, and we want to thank you for today. We also have Sports Commission Chair Jose Sotolongo. Oh, you here? Thank you for coming. Appreciate it. Community and Media Affairs Liaison Marta Martinez Alaman. Thank you for coming. All right. And I want to thank some of our dignitaries from Relevant Sports who really work around the clock to pull this off today. And you could just imagine the logistics that are involved in getting 8 of the biggest teams in the world to come to the United States and organize their schedule. First and foremost is Charlie Stolitano, CEO and founder. John Scheinman, who's a Chief Operating Officer. Where's John? Arnie Reese, who is the Chairman of Relevant. He's in the back. And our staff who really do a tremendous job. Kwame and Molly and Nick and Matt and Andrea. These names may not mean a lot to you, but they mean a lot to us, because without them, none of this would be possible. They hustle around the clock to be able to pull this off, so thank you. And I also want to thank all the folks at the Dolphins, who Claudia and her team and Brittany, everybody else who pulls this together and has worked to make for a successful launch. So let me take you back for a minute. What were the goals in putting together this tournament? Last year we began working on it. Number one, take what is a collection of entertaining friendlies throughout the United States and turn it into a meaningful competition. And as anyone who came and saw the match between Real and Chelsea, you know that we succeeded in pulling that off last year. Number two, attract the best teams in the world. Make sure that this wasn't just a one-time wonder, but this was a recurring event culminating in Miami. And as you see by the days, I think we've pulled that off today. Number three, bring soccer in the United States to new places that it's never been before. We brought it to Busch Stadium, we brought it to Indianapolis, and we brought it to Dodger Stadium. This year we're going to bring it to even more venues. And lastly, and near and dear to my heart and everyone in this room, is really establish Miami as the capital of international soccer in the United States. So how do we build upon last year? First and foremost, we want to go deeper, go farther, go wider. We're going to be bringing the tournament to 13 different venues throughout the U.S., some of them NFL venues, some of them baseball stadiums, but that just means more people in this country are going to be exposed to soccer, And the matches will be broadcast in 150 countries around the world. 2, we've added even more marquee teams, and Charlie's going to spend some time on that. And lastly, you haven't seen anything yet if you saw the final last year in Miami. This will be even bigger, even greater, even more of a spectacle, if that's even possible. We have a tremendous musical act lined up that we're going to announce at a later date, but that we're very excited about, that we've been working on. So it'll be a phenomenal night in Miami on August 4th. So now I have an opportunity to introduce Charlie Stillitano. I'm going to take a point of personal privilege to go ahead and do that, because this man is near and dear to my heart. Nobody in the United States knows more about soccer than Charlie. He's devoted his entire career to the sport. He says he once played for Princeton. I have my doubts, but supposedly there are photos. But just a wonderful human being, and I can honestly say without him it would be impossible to get all the teams to organize, to do all the meetings throughout Europe and travel the world. And Charlie has literally given his heart and soul to pulling this off. So on behalf of everyone, Charlie, I just want to thank you. And without further ado, Charlie Stillitano.
Yes, I did play, but as I ate myself. That's why I'm a little bigger than I should be. Giorgio Canaglia, my dear late great friend, said to me one time, we were at the National Soccer Coaches Convention in Philadelphia, and one of the coaches for, I think it was John Rennie from Duke University, said, no, Giorgio, he wasn't a good player, he was a great player. And Giorgio said to me, you're not a player. These guys are players right here. It's a different class when you look at what we have here. And I'll also mention 2 special ambassadors that we have in the audience. First of all, thank you so much, Matt. You thanked everyone, but I just want to repeat for Mr. Ross, Matt Higgins, Arnie Reese, and really all the Miami Dolphins and our staff at Relevant Sports. They work so hard, and always I end up getting the credit, and they do all the work. John Scheinman, we know that. We've been together for a long time. He's behind the scenes and always doing everything. It's a real honor to be here at Sun Life in Miami for this major announcement. We are proud to announce the return of Guinness International Champions Cup, the premier soccer tournament in the world this summer. Before we get into the real show here, these fine gentlemen next to me, I'd like to talk about last year's inaugural tournament. The first annual Guinness International Champion Cup was an unparalleled success. Over 67,000 people descended on Sun Life to see Real Madrid beat Chelsea 3-1. Who could forget Cristiano getting the hug from the fan? You know, by the way, they let him off thanks to the Miami Dolphins, so the kid's still in this country, I think. The Guinness International Champions Cup quickly made a name for itself as the summer's premier entertainment destination. The Guinness International Champions Cup final featuring Real Madrid versus Chelsea was the most watched off-season match in Fox Soccer history. As Matt mentioned, with the tournament entering its second year, we always want to give fans some more, and we think that we have done just that with this year's roster. Should also point out that last year, Real Madrid against Everton outdrew the FA Cup final, both of them live on Big Fox, by 27%. So it shows that the Americans really embrace this tournament as a real tournament. And when you can compete with something like the FA Cup final, that's pretty remarkable if you think about it. I want to introduce, it's my pleasure to introduce the participating teams. From Real Madrid, we have Emilio Butragueño. They don't really give you enough credit here. They still have the greatest goal I've ever seen. Wait, who was that against? Okay, okay. The Director of Institutional Relations, one of the game's top players during the 80s and 90s. Butragueño started for Real Madrid for over 10 years and scored 123 goals. And you should YouTube his goal. That's the best goal I've ever seen. How many people did you beat on the goal?
Some of them.
Yeah, some of them, okay. Joining us in Manchester United is former legendary midfielder Paul Scholes. Widely considered one of the game's top midfielders of this generation, Scholes won the Premier League 11 times with the Red Devils and was capped for the English national team more than 60 times. Also from United is Director of Communications, Phil Townsend. Where's Phil? Oh, there you are. Okay, good. I broke up Phil's engagement. It's a long story. I'll get to it later. Liverpool's all-time leading scorer with 346 goals. Ian Rush also leads the Welsh national team with 28 goals. Ian got on the phone with a Scouser friend of mine yesterday who lives across the street, a Liverpool fan, and he was teasing him, pretending, who'd you pretend you were, somebody else from Everton? Yeah, okay. Yeah, they had a little fun last night. And our only World Cup winner, Bruno Conti. You have to stand up, Bruno. They won't be able to see you. Bruno Conti currently oversees Rome's youth team, is one of 11 members currently in the Rome Hall of Fame. Bruno is joined by executives Sean Barra and Manolo Zubiria. Zubaria? Okay, good. Another World Cup participant, Pierre Issa Petros. There he is. Played for South Africa from '97 to 2006, included in '98 and 2002 World Cups, and is currently Olympiacos' technical director. Thank you, Petros. Last but not least, a club dear to my heart, Daniele Massato, a legend for AC Milan, played over 300 games for the club from '86 to '95. And I want to mention two other people that are going to be ambassadors for us, and we're still working through some little final details, but two Golden Ball winners, Risto Stoichkov, where is he? And Ruud Gullit, another Golden Ball winner. We're working out some final details, but they will be our ambassadors. And we have Ray Hudson standing next to him. I have no idea why he's there. Ray's one of those guys that is always in every picture you can imagine, okay? Look, we have some of the best teams in the world. We also have Manchester City and Inter Milan that there's some representatives here, but they're from the business side, and they've asked, I guess, Lucia, you don't think you're as good as Paul Scholes in the midfield? You don't think so? Okay, Steve Horowitz, Lucia Sanchez from Manchester City, and Steve Horowitz from Inter Milan. Let me just try to tell you what we're doing this year. These 8 teams not only are the best teams that are represented in leagues, but in the world. And we couldn't be more pleased to announce these teams. Our esteemed guests from each team will be interviewed for a Q&A immediately following the program, as well as individual interviews. And where are they going to be, Nick? The interviews?
Charlie, these rooms right here.
Right there. Okay. And those rooms right over there? I guess you have to see. So you go there. And is it a secret, or can they can talk to everyone? They can go from room to room? All right, good. And we'll have interpreters there for you, too, in the native tongue. And we'll also have Frankie, who really doesn't speak English or Italian, but we'll have him talk to you if you could. The teams will be divided into 2 groups for round-robin play. All teams will play at least 3 matches in the tournament, with the winner of Group A and Group B, based on point total, meeting in the finals. Fans can look forward to learning more about the specific matchups, dates, groups, and venues on Thursday, February 20th. Exclusive pre-sale tickets for the Miami final contest will be available beginning today, now, February 4th at 10 a.m., while the general public will have access to tickets February 6th at 10 a.m. Eastern. So the final, you can buy tickets for the final today. All individual group play match tickets will be available beginning February 25th at 10 a.m. Eastern. Additionally, this year's fans will have the opportunity to purchase an Ultimate Fan Pack, which includes 1 supporter section ticket, team gear, and priority access to select team training. Also available are VIP team travel packs that allow fans to experience the games alongside their favorite teams, providing VIP tickets, charter travel, and world-class accommodations to all of their teams. Guinness International Champion Cup games. All tickets and packages are available at www.internationalchampionscup.com. We are proud to bring these clubs back to the United States from July 26th through August 4th to cities across the U.S., including Phoenix, Denver, D.C., Charlotte, Dallas, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Chicago, New York, and New Jersey, and 2 additional cities we will name later, culminating with the return to Sun Life Stadium in Miami for the finals on August 4th. Speaking to our teams, they are extremely excited to participate, mainly due to the tremendous support for the games and their teams here in the States and the level of competitive nature of the ICC that will serve as a great preseason tune-up. We'd like to invite fans in South Florida and around the country to come out and witness some of the game's greatest players and teams this summer competing for the Guinness International Champions Cup. One other comment I want to make, I want to thank Guinness. John Urch is here from Guinness. He's going to talk in a second. They've been an incredible support of the first year when no one believed we could pull this off. They've done just an amazing job. And John, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for making this a special tournament.
Thank you very much, Charlie, and thanks everyone indeed for having me here today. My name is John Urch. I'm the Senior Brand Manager on the Guinness brand. Quick point of business before I'd like to say some words about this fantastic tournament, which is we recently launched a new glass, and we have a machine in the corner that will engrave your name on that glass that will take 2 or 3 minutes. So if you'd like to, and if 10:30 in the morning isn't too early, you can also fill it with beer. I am privileged and honoured to represent the best beer in the world. And the best beer in the world is privileged and honoured to help bring some of the best sportsmen and the best teams to America to play live football. As Charlie mentioned, we were extremely excited to become involved with the International Champions Cup in its first year, last year, which means a lot to us. Guinness, over time, I believe, has really stood for the celebration of the passion and commitment, not just of the players in sport, but also the fans. And as you can tell from my accent, as an Englishman and a lifelong football fan, I think that football does that job better than any other sport. So the opportunity to help bring those teams to America to play here live and to give American soccer fans the opportunity to see the games live is something that we are humbled and privileged to be involved with. Last year was phenomenal. As Charlie referenced, I think Real Madrid set the standard for what it takes to win the International Champions Cup very, very high indeed, at the thriller that was taking place on the field just outside where we are last year. And this year, I think the teams are going to be even more excited and even more interested in being able to do the same thing. The other thing that makes me extremely confident about the tournament this year, Guinness has worked with a lot of leading sports properties around the world for quite a long time, and we have been delighted with our partnership with Relevant Sports and with Fox. I think they did an enormous job putting on a remarkable tournament last year in every respect, which made it a great success for everybody involved. And I have every confidence that they will be able to do even better this year coming. So I'm extremely excited as a lifelong football fan, mainly to be seeing great action live and to continue the tradition of great beer and great football, which is something I will say cheers to any day of the week. Thank you.
Thank you very much. If anyone's confused, football is soccer, actually. We've got some microphones now. The gentleman will take maybe 5 minutes of questions open to the audience if they'd like to ask some questions, and if not, as we said, there's some one-on-ones that are going to go on behind. So if anyone would like to raise their hand and ask a question, we'll get a mic to you.
I've got 2 questions. I think one question is for either Warren or Charlie in terms of the TV coverage in the United States for Fox Sports. This is, Chris Harris from Woolsock Talk. In terms of what we can expect from the TV coverage on television this summer.
I think we had last year was Fox Soccer, and that reached out to an audience, as Charlie had mentioned. It was actually higher than the FA Cup final. This year, being with Fox Sports, it's going to reach over 100 million households. So that just shows you the growth and the experience that Fox are putting into this now. You know, they want to take the game further forward with the Guinness, with the teams, and you know, you just look at the teams that are here. So from being a Fox Soccer, now it's Fox Sports, which gets into more households to get more viewing figures and people. The stadiums with sellouts. That's a fantastic opportunity for Fox to be involved, and we're honoured to do that not only this year but the coming years.
And then just one more question, and that's for Phil Townsend. In terms of Manchester United, if they had to actually go through to the Europa League qualification in late July and early August, what does that mean for the tournament? Is there a plan B?
Well, I mean, obviously there's 42 points left to play for in the Premier League season, so we're not really thinking about that. But I think if those issues, there's only one Europa League qualifying place that would actually deal with that as well. So I think if that situation arose, then we would deal with it. But at the moment, we're not thinking like that.
From a tournament perspective, we understand that there's these. In fact, we have some statistics. I think it's an 8% chance that they will be in the Europa Cup qualifying. And it's something we deal with. We'll have replacements, but I really think it's very unlikely we're going to get in that situation. And today you can write back to the papers in Manchester to Phil guaranteed that you're going to win the league this year. So you can check that.
Josh Malfish from Miami Herald. This question is for Charlie. After having LA in the tournament last year, was there any attempt to bring a U.S. team into the fold again this year?
Yes, we have great relations with MLS. LA Galaxy did extraordinarily well last year. And in fact, we looked at it very closely this year. One of the challenges we had is the schedule challenge. It's a full week in the middle of the MLS season. And we reached out to several MLS teams, and to be fair, I think the teams individually wanted to attend and be a part of it. We just couldn't make it work with the schedule this year, but you know, we expect this to be an annual event, and certainly MLS will be a part of it in the future.
Jose del Valle from ESPN Deportes. Charlie, to make it more real, would you consider to limit the number of substitutions?
I'm starting to get into a full sweat, getting up and down, up and down. I better get in shape next time. Jesus. We've actually looked at this very closely. It's a balance. We have employed in the past what we call the Jose Mourinho rule, 11 players. He likes to switch the full team at halftime. What we've come up with this year, we're still tweaking the rules. We're trying to find that balance. And normally in a friendly match, it's 7 substitutions, as we know. With this year, we're still deciding the exact number when we come up with it, but we're going to limit the number of times you can make substitutions in a game like we did last year. You can only make substitutions 3 times during a game, so we won't interrupt the game. The problem is that you're in a preseason, and the managers want to see their players, they want to see other players, and his fitness level too, because some people can only go 45 minutes. So that's one of the things we have to look at. We're in consultation with the clubs and talking to them, and in fact, there's a lot of input directly from the managers here. But you know, we'll see. It's something we're working on.
As I said, thank you very much. Oh.
Can we get someone in Spanish to talk about the tournament?
Charlie, you do Spanish?
No, not very well at it. Scalzi's out.
Volunteers?
Good.
I'll translate?
Yeah. No, Risto Stoichkov can do it, our ambassador. Come on, Risto. Say a few words in Spanish, Risto. Go nuts.
Buenas tardes. De verdad, para mí es un privilegio de estar con esos grandes campeones, amigos, porque somos verdaderamente la generación que fuimos muchos años para estos niños que ahora están jugando. Y ahora para mí es importante estar hoy aquí con ellos y puedo representar en este gran evento que a partir de Mundial, cuando termina, se va a hacer aquí en Estados Unidos. De verdad, estoy feliz, estoy contento y ojalá que este evento siga mejorando, porque yo siempre creo en los amigos, que cuanto quieren y cuanto pueden y cuanto todos queremos de hacer un evento así, puede salir bien. Muchas gracias a ti, porque te conozco hace 20 años y sé que haces las cosas bien. A ti también, porque estás trabajando sin parar para mejorar este evento, y yo creo que esto es no poner un 10, mucho más. Muchas gracias y que esto sigue mejorando día a día. A vosotros, grandes campeones, muchísimas gracias de estar aquí. A ti personalmente, Daniel Mazzaro, me estás clavado y 4.
Pero tengo la tua camiseta.
Aquí que una vez más, muchísimas gracias a todos y espero que este evento sea mejor que a partir de ahora va a ser. Muchísimas gracias.
Also speaks Spanish.
We're being told now that the ambassadors will be moving into the room and they're going to do a photo now. There's the screen there. It's just being organised. And they're going to do it over there, the photo. Thank you very much for your time.